This Diocese of Houma Thibodeau program is brought to you by Crosby Tugs.
In today's gospel, we have a very familiar story from Jesus. As Jesus is traveling to Jerusalem in the Gospel of Luke, he comes through this town and this village, and what happens is he meets 10 lepers. These 10 lepers are in a dire situation. Leprosy was seen as, it's a skin disease, right? And it's one that basically the skin decays. In the Jewish world, leprosy was seen as basically you were cursed with death. That your skin was literally dying and you were seen as kind of the dead but alive. As Jesus is passing, these 10 lepers approach him, crying out, asking him to heal them. As he does, he looks at them and he says, "Go and show yourself to the priest." Along the way, though, the lepers notice that they've been healed, and one returns back to him giving thanks and praise. Now, it's interesting because both our gospel and our first reading have to do with leprosy. Both of them have to do with gratitude. But if we're going to be honest about gratitude, gratitude requires three things. First thing is that we have to receive something. For us to be grateful, we have to receive. Secondly, true gratitude, right, is accompanied by a feeling of thanksgiving, right? We want to give thanks for the thing that we received. And then finally, gratitude is defined by putting the thing that we have received to use. As we find ourselves in the middle of October, as we find ourselves inching ever closer to Christmas, I can't help but think of times when I was a kid that I got presents and gifts from people that may or may not have been the most useful, I'll say. Times that I've received the gift and I've been very, very thankful. I've told the person thank you, but it didn't really get put to use. I know in our family, Mom made a point that if you receive something, you said thank you, you gave a hug, and you gave a kiss, whether you liked it or not, right? But for us to show true gratitude, in these lepers' life especially, what we see is that for them to show true gratitude, it meant that they not only received healing, received a newness of life, but they also, one, went and showed thanksgiving, and then Jesus' command is to go and live, right? To go and follow, to go and proclaim what he has received. Leprosy is a dire situation in the New Testament, in the Old Testament, and all throughout the Bible. But leprosy is nothing compared to the state that we find ourselves in sin. Mankind is destined for death. Mankind carries the wounds of our first parents in original sin. Mankind has been justly condemned. And yet, the Lord gives us new life. The Lord offers us something that's brand new. The Lord offers us forgiveness and mercy. Are we grateful? Are we grateful for what we have received? We are given indiscriminately this newness of life through Jesus' sacrifice. Are we thankful for it? If we're thankful for it, how do we then show it? How then do we put the new life that we have received to use? How do we put it to work? I want to suggest to us that for us to do these things, that for us to receive something, we have to open ourselves to receive it. For us to receive the mercy of God, the new life that God provides, the new life that God has promised, we have to open ourselves and actually accept it. In the church, the most powerful and particular way that we can do that is through the sacrament of confession, where through God's mercy, new life is bestowed on every one of us. I know as a priest, it's one of my favorite things to hear when someone starts a confession that, "Bless me, Father, if I have sinned. It's been 40 years since my last confession." My response is always, "Welcome back." Why? Because we receive new life. We receive hope with God's mercy. And secondly, if we're thankful, right? The word Eucharist means thanksgiving. The word Eucharist explicitly in Greek means thanksgiving. When we go to Mass, we reveal and we show how thankful we are by giving praise and worship to God. He meets us, he feeds us, and we are thankful back. And then finally, putting the grace that we have received to use, the last words of the Mass are the most powerful in my mind. They always have been. I've always loved them. Go and announce the gospel of the Lord. That's not a declarative sentence. That is not simply just a statement of fact, but it's an imperative that every one of us, when we walk out of Mass, is being commissioned and sent into the world. That what we have received, what we are thankful for, we now go and we witness to. We put it to use. May the grace that we receive, the grace that impacts us, that we're thankful for in our lives, compel us out. That we go and talk about what we have received. We go and share the important things in our life. We go testify to the hope that we carry. Today, our readings are about gratitude. And I think as we come to this moment in our liturgical calendar, as we come towards the end of this liturgical year, the Lord invites us to show this gratitude and graciousness for what we have received, what we are thankful for, and that we would be his disciples and put that grace to use.
This Diocese of Houma Thibodeau program has been brought to you by Crosby Tugs.